And for more tonight, we are joined by Rob Shooter, British-American celebrity journalist and media personality galore. Rob, it is always so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Let's talk about this. Buckingham Palace says that the visit is happening as planned. They do say that King Charles's security is being reviewed before the state visit. We see The Guardian reporting that there have been modest adjustments to at least one of the planned engagements during this trip, but overall plans really seem to be staying the same. What do you make of this? Should the show still go on this week? Is it safe?
Yeah, I think the king wants this to happen. We saw after the awful incident last night that the president wanted the show to go on last night. It couldn't last night, but it can with this royal visit. Charles is very much looking forward to this trip. He has his own security. He's had them for years. They're very, very confident. And the places, the events, the type of places that the king is going to be going are very, very secure places, starting at the White House tomorrow. So everybody is very confident. They're actually more worried about what this relationship is going to be like for America and Britain than any external threat while the king is here. And so they're excited about it, and the trip is happening.
Yeah, the trip is happening. I want to get your take on Prince Harry, because we recently heard President Trump dismiss him over comments on the war in Ukraine. Let's take a listen to that moment.
Prince Harry today has said that he would like to see you do more to end the war in Ukraine. Do you think it's appropriate for a royal to make those comments ahead of the visit on Monday?
I know one thing. Prince Harry is not speaking for the UK. That's for sure. I think I'm speaking for the UK more than Prince Harry.
Well, Prince Harry did step back from his royal duties, of course, years ago. Does President Trump have a point here? What did you make of his statement there?
Yeah, it's a difficult relationship, isn't it? The Sussexes and the Trumps have really not seen eye to eye ever. They have very different politics here. And Harry's trying to figure out exactly what his role is now. We know he approached the Queen about having a half in, half out type of relationship. She said no to that. However, this recent trip to Australia looks as if Harry has decided he's going to do it regardless of what the palace thinks. So it's a complicated relationship. My insiders tell me that this trip, the King coming to America, there were some discussions about maybe a meeting. He's not seen his grandchildren in about 4 years, but now, particularly after the trip to Australia, my insiders are telling me there will be no meeting with Harry, Meghan, the King, and the Queen.
This upcoming week, what questions do you think the press will not be allowed to ask but should?
Yeah, I think Jeffrey Epstein is going to be a major, major question, particularly because of his brother, the former Prince Andrew. I know he was invited to meet some of the Epstein survivors, and he has declined that. Also to Harry and Meghan. It's members of his own family that are causing the king the trouble here. So even though Britain and America have very different views at the moment, with the war, with what's going on in the world, the Achilles heel for Charles. He's very, very well prepared as a diplomat. His Achilles heel is as a family man. So I think he's going to want no questions about his brother and also his son.
I want to pick up on something you mentioned before, which is, of course, the war in Iran. This is a really tense moment between these two countries, between us and the UK. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and President Trump have had a contentious relationship in the past, especially amidst this conflict. And the Prime Minister saying last month that the UK does not support joining air operations against Iran. And that led to Trump just blasting him on Truth Social. Do you believe that the King's visit is meant to help these relations? Will it touch what's going on here?
Yeah, that's what the British government, the British people are hoping. There's a lot of pushback in Britain. The president has insulted the United Kingdom many, many times. And so a lot of Brits are questioning, should the king even be here? However, this is, I think, a very smart move, an uncomfortable move. We know the president is easily flattered. We know that he enjoys the company of other world leaders. This is a literal king who's going to be there in front of Donald Trump. So I think this is going to be a very important meeting. And it's something the king does exceptionally well. They know the power of the monarchy. They know the power of turning up. And so I will predict Charles will be absolute charming, and I think this will help. The president himself was asked this question, whether or not this visit could help some of the tensions recently, and he said yes, absolutely. He likes King Charles, he likes kings, he likes the pageantry, he likes to be flattered, all of which Charles is an expert at.
Rob Shooter, always appreciate the insight, the analysis, the time. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.